We have one final design topic to discuss: how to achieve different transitions between the screens of invoked objects. Every time that a screen is used to call another screen, we have the possibility to define an enter and exit effect. In this case, the transition will take place. Here we're using the GeneXus emulator to run an Android application for the 4.3 operating system. And we can see that the default object when invoking another object is fade. However, this isn't the standard for all Android applications. It'll depend on the operating system version and the device manufacturer. The default value in iOS varies depending on the method used to invoke the object. It's different if the invocation is a call or pop-up. For call, as we can see, the default value is push left, which means that it opens from the left, displacing what's underneath it. If the invoked object is opened in another target, it's opened with fade, not with push left. If we want this screen to appear from below, push up, when invoking the list of speakers, how do we achieve this transition? In other words, where do we set the screen enter and exit effects corresponding to the invoked object? Let's take a look at the work with speakers list. The main table has the property that by default is taking the form class of the corresponding theme. If we open the properties of this form class for this theme, for example, we will look for the one corresponding to Android, we will find two properties, enter effect and exit effect, which precisely define these transition effects when the screen is entered and left. We can see that the possible effects include push up, for example, or push left, which was the default option for iOS when the invoked object was opened in the same target. Also note that some effects are only valid for iOS. Therefore, if in this form we set push up as enter effect, we see that the exit effect was symmetrically set as push down. This is to say, it's negative. We can change it as long as it makes sense. If we do this, all the layouts of all objects. For example, we open the detail and see that it has the form class form. The general section also has form class form, and so on. So all the invoked objects that have this class will use that enter and exit effect as long as they use the Android theme. But if we want only some layouts to open with push up and push down as enter and exit effects, respectively, we will have to define a particular class with those effects. We can leave the default effects to form and create a form subclass that we will call form push up, for example. We will use it in all the layouts in which we want those effects. And in that class, we will define the enter effect as push up and leave the exit effect as push down. We save, and what we have to do now is open the objects where we want screens to use those effects, and configure the form class with this new one. We will do this for all the screens of this work with. So we press F5. We've just seen how to configure the enter and exit effect of the invoked screen, setting it at design time. But we can also do this at runtime, and this will give us more freedom. There, from a caller object, such as the dashboard, before invoking the sessions list, with the dynamic call options property of the object we're calling, which we will come back to in another video, we configure the enter effect as we want. Effects are coded in a predefined domain called effect. Note that this is enumerated with all the possibilities offered, including push up and push down. So we use this enumerated domain and select the option we're interested in, push up. If we try to save, an error message will inform us that we're missing the composite block, which is necessary for multi-line events. We will come back to this later on. So we will just add the composite, and now we press F5. Now we run the sessions list and see how it opens from below. In sum, we have two options to set transitions. At design time, through the form class of the theme or some of the subclasses defined, specifying the properties enter effect and exit effect, or doing it at runtime through the call options enter effect or exit effect, and the predefined enumerated domain effect. Now we've just finished looking at transitions, the aspects related to application design. Next, we will focus on application behavior, even though sometimes design and behavior are mixed.